That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trade Talk. This is the beginning of a series in which I'll be reviewing this thick boy. This is the omnibus I got for Christmas of Mike Allred and Dan Slott's Silver Surfer run. This is all the issues they did. It's like 30 something, I think. And it is beautiful. This is just the hardcover. It's got a printed hardcover. I love it. So I'll be reviewing this in installments, equivalent to whatever the trades are for the run. So the first trade is the first 5 issues. So I'm reviewing the first 5 chapters, so on and so forth. So the first story arc in the Dan Slott, Michael Allred Silver Surfer run is called A New Dawn. And this is about the introduction of Dawn Greenwood. It's really interesting to look at this knowing what I know about the series, but it's hard not to just read it and see what's so incredibly obvious. Dan Slott and Mike Allred are Doctor Who fans, or at least Dan Slott is. He likes Doctor Who. He likes the Doctor. He likes the companions. So he gives Silver Surfer a companion, and that's Dawn Greenwood. And so we start off when Dawn and her sister are little girls, and they're wishing upon a star who turns out to be the Silver Surfer upon his first visit to Earth. But now years have passed, and the Silver Surfer is out among the galaxy, saving lives left and right. He goes and is taken into a impossible city that requests his help. Meanwhile, Dawn Greenwood has grown up. Her twin sister is off around the world, exploring every city, being the globetrotter that she always wanted to be, while Dawn has stayed at home and taken care of the inn, or the bed and breakfast that her family owns, with her father. Meanwhile, Silver Surfer gets taken to this impossible city, and we begin to get into why Mike Allred is just fucking bananas. Mike Allred does just absolutely gorgeous work. The colors are usually done by his wife. I'm not sure who did the colors in each issue, or if he's working with his wife again. Oh, yeah, color artist Laura Allred. So funny thing about Mike Allred, he's actually one of my favorite comic book artists. Mike Allred is colorblind. He is pretty badly colorblind, and so his wife Laura Allred does all the colors for him. And damn, like, this is just, could you imagine reading this book on acid? It's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. So this is the impossible city. The architecture shouldn't work. Everything about it shouldn't work. And it's the best kept secret in the galaxy because the Heralds and Galactus don't know about it, even though it's a huge tourist destination. Everyone keeps it secret because everyone is equally afraid, and the universe is equally afraid of Galactus. So that's why Silver Surfer's never encountered it before. Silver Surfer, but this city is under threat. This impossible planet is under threat. And so they've contacted the Silver Surfer to be their champion. They expose him to a ray that scans him for, it's called the Motivator. And it sees the truth of you, who you were, who you are, who you will be. And if you measure up to the awesome task before you, it will provide the proper incentive. Smash cut to Dawn Greenwood in her house, chilling, and then suddenly there's a flash of light, and she's now surrounded by aliens in cubicles. The motivator takes the most important person to you and kidnaps them so you can be motivated to fight. But Don Greenwood means nothing to the Silver Surfer. They've never met before. He has no idea who this girl is. Woo, 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 woo. Is that not the most Doctor Who moment? Like, seriously, that's the end of the first issue. Is showing Don Greenwood kidnapped by the motivator and Silver Surfer saying, okay, I have absolutely no idea who that is. And I could just imagine the Doctor Who sound effect. Hold on, let me see if I can cue that up for you. Doctor Who cliffhanger sound. I really need that sample on my phone. There's got to be an app for that, right? Damn it, internet, work. Cliffhanger sting. So I got that. I'm just gonna be all kinds of that. So much that. Like that moment just perfectly works. Just I have absolutely no idea who that is. That so works. Anyway, so the rest of the story arc is just about the first half of the story arc. It's so short. It's 5 issues and it's 2 stories. Is about the Silver Surfer trying to figure out who is threatening this city, and it's this Never Queen. I am the almost now, the yet to be. I am the Queen of Nevers, and like all who have failed before you, I know every way you will die. So the city's been sending out these champions to defeat her, and now Silver Surfer is just part of the equation. The idea behind this is she is the untold possibilities, the conceivable tomorrows. She is everything that could be, exemplified in how she attacks Norrin. I think that's pretty good. And yet she wants to destroy the city because they have stolen her heart. And that is what is allowing them the ability to do all this. I love it. It's the engine at the heart of the city, the ship, whatever. It's space. Meanwhile, during the battle, Dawn and the other captives to motivate have escaped and are now looking for a way off of the city of possibility. Norrin talks to the Never Queen and convinces her that he's there to help, and sneaks back to the ship, abandoning the board along the way so that he can, sneak under their radar. Meanwhile, the bad guy that runs the city thinks the Silver Surfer has failed, so he goes out to try to save the day himself. And Norrin finds Don Greenwood almost instantly, which should not have happened on a station of this size. Station, there's the word. And so he decides that he's there to save her, but she's promised to save all of their friends already. Oh, God damn. I love Mike Allred, but damn, I love that shit too. That is a great variant cover. I love this shit. I love this kind of shit. Oh man, it's almost like Alex Ross level right there. Anyway, so the Never Queen was meant to be with Eternity, who is the physical embodiment of literally the entire Marvel universe. But her heart has been taken, so that's not going to happen. Dawn and Norrin save the day, are able to get out of the city. I particularly like this moment. As he takes the Neverqueen's heart out of the devices it's hooked up to power the city, he says, "I need you to catch it. Can't you do that?" "I can't. I'm going to be busy." "Doing what?" "The impossible. But don't worry, I do it all the time." And just jumps in to power the city so that everyone will have time to escape, even though the Neverqueen's heart is currently, not preoccupied. Meanwhile, Neverqueen fights the big bad guy, and Silver Surfer gets everyone to run out and evacuate the city, and then he and Dawn leave. We get just this absolutely adorable scene as they jet out to space on the board, and Silver Surfer talks a bunch, then realizes Dawn has stopped talking and says, "Wait, this is the longest you've gone without saying anything. Why?" And he just looks over and she's holding her breath. He's like, "What are you doing? Stop holding your breath." And she's like, "How are we talking in space? I possess the power cosmic. How am I breathing in space? The power cosmic. And I'm not freezing because power cosmic. That's very convenient. That's the power cosmic." I really like that. Anyway, so Silver Surfer fights with the bad guy who's trying to kill the Neverqueen, using all the force of the power cosmic. And he says, "How are you doing this, Zed? Your technology could hide you from my cosmic power, but shielding you from the power cosmic itself, that defies all reason." "No, Harold, it defies reality. This sword and armor are from beyond this universe. They give me the edge in our conflict." I really like that. It defies reason. It defies reality. It's beyond realities. The power cosmic has no effect on it. That's pretty cool. But not to worry, because Silver Surfer learned some tricks while he was on Earth from the Three Stooges. Pokes the guy in the eyes. All three of them. And that's just adorable. The day is saved. The guy's defeated. We tease a villain for the future as the bad guy is now ejected. Eternity ejects him from himself, saying, "You brought something that is not me into me, so therefore I don't want you anymore." And then he's kind of left alone, but then is now surrounded by the this mysterious stranger he befriended. The Neverqueen is grateful to Dawn and Silver Surfer for helping save her, and Silver Surfer agrees to take her back to Earth. On the way back, they're stopped by the Guardians of the Galaxy for customs inspection. That's adorable. Really, the Guardians are trying to see what reason the Silver Surfers come to Earth for. If it's really just to bring Dawn home. Silver Surfer mentions that he was trapped on Earth for a number of years, and so every time he goes back, he's very nervous, and he always checks where the barrier that trapped him is to see if he'll be able to get through it, or if it's there again. So he's able to get through, luckily, and he gets Dawn back to her home, but he feels something's not right, as evidenced by something he doesn't get to see, but we, the audience, get to see a giant squid attacking a boat. Kind of terrifying. Upon reaching the bed and breakfast, the door is answered, and Silver Surfer screams, Dawn, look out! Scroll! And Dawn says, Surfer, what in the world are you doing? Get behind me. In your absence, an evil alien shape-changer has taken your place. That's Eve, my twin sister. You do have twins in outer space, don't you? Yes, we do. Though in my experience, I come across more scrolls. Of course. Of course. That's beautiful. Anyway, the whole family is very worried about Dawn since she just disappeared, and she has to explain, oh yeah, I was abducted by aliens. That's adorable. They're all very excited for her to be back, and she kind of just tells the story of Silver Surfer sitting right there on the family couch. Tells the story to her family and to the visitors to the bed and breakfast. And everyone's just pretty cool with it, which is surprising. Meanwhile, Dawn convinces Norrin that he should eat like an actual person, because what he's used to doing is atomizing food and consuming it as nutrients that way. But she says, no, don't do that. My dad worked very hard on this meal. Please actually eat it. And he's like, well, I can't. I've got the silver. I mean, well, when we met, you didn't have the silver up. And he's like, yeah, well, I suppressed the power of cosmics so that I could blend in. Yeah, well, do it again. Dawn, my dad slaved over a hot stove for you. Silver down. There, happy? Thanks. And you really should do that more often. You look better this way. You have very handsome eyes. Thank you. And it turns out that's actually a really nice suggestion because he really likes the food. And that's just super sweet and adorable. It's just the relationship writing here is so good. You can instantly see all the chemistry that's developing between these two. Dawn convinces Norrin against his better judgment to take a nap. He does, and that's when the B plot starts kicking in as Silver Surfer decides to leave. He runs into the barrier surrounding Earth and knows that it must have been Dawn. She must have tricked him somehow or another. So then he goes back and causes a big hubbub, but right in the middle of it, Doctor Strange and the Hulk show up and say that the God of Nightmares is here in Amnesty Bay and yada, 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 yada. Gotta save the day. And then we just get some fucking trippy shit and Mike Allred drawing the Hulk, which is great. This panel is absolutely fantastic of Silver Surfer, Doc Strange, and the Hulk. The thing I love about Mike Allred's art is he has such an absolutely timeless style. I was reading the series. I was showing Haley some images from the series, and she looked at the copyright date and said, "Oh, 2014." I'm surprised. I said, "Why?" And she said, "I don't know, the art and stuff. I thought it was like from the 80s or something." And that's totally believable. Like most of the time, you can look at comics, look at the art, and based on the style, based on some of the tropes that are popular at the time, you can get it within the decade of what it is. You can say 80s and 90s pretty reliably for a lot of stuff. You can say 2010s for a lot of stuff that comes out now. It's just really typical. And I've talked about this before with Mike Allred. Like I can look at this art and I can tell you it's either 2000s or 2010s without really knowing when the book came out. Mike Allred's art, it looks so clean and perfect and minimalist today, which makes it great. But it looks so timeless. It looks like it could be from any era of comics in the best possible way. It's like it's such a refined and damn near perfect style that it looks appropriate no matter when it came from. and this panel of these three, icons of Marvel just really does work to exemplify that. It looks great. Anyway, they work together and they've got to defeat the Nightmare King. And it turns out the only human on the entire planet who is still awake, who has not succumbed to the Nightmare King's power, is Dawn Greenwood. So she's the only one that can save the day, and Silver Surfer has to escort her and help her. And they go kind of just room to room and in this inn looking for the Nightmare King. And then they find we get like some really, pretty heartwarming and tragic stuff where they walk into Eve's room. And she's working in the inn and folding clothes. And she says, "I can't go. I can never leave. This is all I'll ever do, over and over again. This wasn't my dream. I was going to travel, see the world. Now I'm trapped here, and all I'll ever be is your pale reflection. I can't go. I can never leave. This is all I ever wanted. This is all I ever do, over and over again. This wasn't my dream. I was going to travel, see the world. Now I'm trapped here, and all I'll ever be is your pale reflection. I can't go. I can never leave." And just Dawn seeing this, and is just absolutely devastated by it. So the character writing is so perfect there. At the beginning of the series, we set up that Eve and Dawn, even though they're twins, they want completely different things out of the world. And to see that Eve's nightmare is becoming Dawn, just working at the bed and breakfast, just breaks Dawn. She's just devastated. Like, I could read Dawn's lines here, but Allred does such a fantastic job of displaying how she's reacting to all this with the art, to the point where even though she knows she has to go, she has trouble tearing herself away from the nightmare because she just wants to help her sister. And that is utterly fantastic. Then they see the father's nightmare, and he worries that his family is just going to leave him behind. His wife is gone. One of his daughters is left. Dawn's all he has left, and she's going to go too. And that's the tragedy. Ultimately, they end up catching the Nightmare King, saving the day, yada, yada. Then the big epilogue to it all is that Eve actually encourages Dawn to leave, says, "No, I've traveled, I've seen things. You haven't. You need to go out. You need to see the universe." And so Dawn asks the surfer if she can come with him. And he says, "Yeah, sure. Are you ready?" And she goes, "You bet. Where to now?" "Anywhere and everywhere. Anywhere, everywhere. Hang on." It's such a perfect fucking thing to do with Silver Surfer, god damn it. Why did no one think to turn Silver Surfer into Doctor Who like 50 years ago? It's so good. I love it. The image perfectly establishes what this book's going to be. Man, love this series. I only got into this series on the tail end of it, and I was just absolutely in love with the few issues I read, and I wanted to go back and read the whole thing from the start, but was waiting for something like this to happen. So now I'm really excited to be able to read this. Great series, fantastic work. Can't get enough of that Mike Allred. Can't get enough of it. It's too good. All right, everyone. That'll do it for Trade Talk. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, bye.
That's not a comic book. Now that's a comic book.